War emergency power. So many times pilots have used it to pull out of an otherwise imminent defeat. So many times it helps to get into a good firing position at just the right moment. It works great on both piston-engined and jet aircraft. But what is war emergency power? It seems pretty straightforward with turbojet engines. Here's the afterburner that adds fuel to burn the remaining oxygen in the jet stream. But how does it work in internal combustion engines? And why do some planes have it while others don't? Let's take a closer look. War emergency power is a pretty versatile term. It means different things when applied to engines of different types. In theory, you can get pretty much any kind of power from an internal combustion engine, but that's just a theory. Practice tells us that increasing power increases the number of possible issues. Things like durability, inertia, octane number limits, fuel burn, oxidizer supply speeds, and other factors all come into play. We could go on for hours trying to build a complete list of engine power limits. That's why engineers take extra care trying to extract power from engines, taking possible consequences into account. This approach produced a number of terms. For instance, rated power means the power that an engine can work at for a certain rated time without breaking down. Again, in theory. Nominal power is the power that an engine can sustain for the longest time without stopping or failing. WEP is a mode that makes the engine sweat out the last drop of power regardless of its effect on service life. Let's inject all the fuel mix we can into the combustion chambers at the maximum possible pressure before the engine starts knocking. Rev the engine to maximum RPM before it falls apart from the load. Sometimes we may go even further and use anti-detonant injections together with the fuel mixture to cool down the cylinder blocks with water, an inert compound. This way we can increase the power output and even prolong the time an engine can work in this mode. We may also change the fuel mixture content, which usually includes 21% of oxygen, and swap it for nitrogen oxide that has 36% of atomic oxygen. And on top of all that, we can add a turbocharger to create a ludicrous intake pressure. To prevent the mixture from premature overheating and ignition, we can stick an intercooler in addition to the turbocharger. Everything to make each burn stage in each piston as intense as possible. One thing though, no engine can sustain this mode for long. For instance, the P-51D's motor in WEP, or War Emergency Power Mode, only has a service life of 4 to 5 hours depending on the modification. And all this mode did on that plane was force the induction of a regular air fuel mixture. Imagine what you could achieve if you added nitrogen oxide and water methanol injection. For example, here's the Focke-Wulf 190D. According to some data, its UMO 213 engine could only last 42 minutes in the WEP mode. After that, the engine had to be removed and sent for major depot overhaul. That's how complicated and multifaceted WEP mode is in piston engines.